So, dear students, today our topic is pharmacology of thiazide diuretics. So, already you know regarding the benefits of diuretics and mechanism of diuretics. Diuretics are nothing but they are enhance the output of urine or flow of urine along with the electrolytes. So that was helpful for treatment of edema or pulmonary edema. Then even they helpful for treatment of serious disorder regarding heart failure, then hypertension, arrhythmia, even they are helpful for the treatment of the convulsions. You should be know the mechanism beyond the diuretics. So how they are managed these disorders. Okay, actually they are increases the outflow of urine, but that loss of water along with the electrolytes, so that was beneficial for the treatment of the various disorder. First one is the edema, that is excess accumulations of water in the tissues or between the tissues. That was corrected because when the water is accumulated between the cells or in the interstitial space, so that was create the problem on the cells. Okay, so due to that accumulations of body fluid, so then cells was die or the cells functions was malfunctions or abnormal. So due to that the various metabolic disorders was occurs. So that was prevented or to remove the excess of the body fluid by using of the various diuretics. So that is the mechanism beyond the treatment of the edema or edema, maybe pulmonary, maybe accumulations of water in the various organs like your brain or eye or even in the liver. Okay, so during the liver damages the inflammation is occurs, that is known as the cirrhosis. Inflammation means some fluid can be accumulated in the particular organ. Okay, so due to accumulations of fluid in a particular organ the inflammation is occurs. So here these diuretics, so they are enhance the excretions of the fluid or they remove the excess of fluid. So due to use of diuretics, we can treat the any inflammation so that was related to the edema in the organs. Okay, by enhancing the shifting of the fluid from the interstitial space into the blood vessels. From the blood vessels, so they are enters towards the kidney. From the kidney, they are excreted. So that is the phenomena. Okay, they are excreted. Sodium, calcium, whatever there in our fluid. So they all are excreted. Whatever the components, so they are filtered by glomerulus apparatus, so they are present in urine or filtered into urine, okay, by glomerular filtration. So those all are excreted by diuretics. Okay, so among sodium, calcium, potassium, magnesium, chloride, potassium. But here some modified diuretics are there. So they have a particular rule. For example, osmotic diuretics, so they only excrete the excess of water, and some loop diuretics are there, so they excreted sodium along with the water. Okay, so like that thiazide diuretics, so these thiazide diuretics, so they are eliminate or excreted the that is the water or body fluids along with sodium. So there is no effect on the calcium. Okay, because diuretics means they excreted all the things, but thiazide, so they only excrete the body fluid along with sodium. There is no loss on the calcium. Calcium do not loses from the urine by use of thiazide diuretics. So that's why, so during the heart failure or cardiac failure, so we need calcium, but we do not need sodium. We do not need water because due to accumulations of water and sodium, the blood volume is increases. As the blood volume is increases, the preload after load on the ventricles are hurt. So that was increases. So that was responsible for to cause of the congestive heart failure or arrhythmia or hypertensions. Okay. So here thiazide diuretics, they only eliminate the risk factors like body fluids, that is water and sodium. There is no rule on the calcium. So that's why thiaziduretics are commonly used in the treatment of hypertension as well as the treatment of the congestive heart failure. Thiaziduretics always used along with the beta blockers. Okay, alone beta blockers, so they do not control the blood pressure, or they do not lower the high blood pressure, or do not treat the hypertension. So when the beta blockers, so they are given along with the thiazide means, so there the efficacy margin of the therapy was increases. So that's why in any prescription, so those patients, they are suffering from the hypertension or heart failure or congestive heart failure, so where the thiazides are present. So nowadays, instead of beta blocker, we are using the RAS drugs, or that is the AC inhibitors like captopril and enalapril. So those drugs also, so they are used along with the thiazide diuretics. So due to this phenomena, thiazide diuretics are also used as a anti-hypertensive agents. And same diuretics or thiazide diuretics, so they are also helpful for to treat the convulsions. So already from the last year, you should be know the risk factor for convulsions. So as the sodium level in the blood or in the plasma was increases, so that was risk factor for the to cause of the convulsions or epilepsy. Okay, so but here thiazide diuretics, so they also clear the, that is the sodium, or excrete the sodium, or they can decrease the risk factor for conversion. So that's why thiazide diuretics is also used as a anticonvulsant. Okay, so for that's why if any patient, so they are suffering for hypertension, if the same patients having a convulsions history, or the same patient having the suffering from the any kind of edema, so where the thiazide diuretics are the first line drug used along with the other antihypertensive drugs, especially beta blocker and AC inhibitor, for management of the various serious disorders. Okay, so now we learn regarding the introductions of the thiazide diuretics. So thiazide diuretics, so these are the type of diuretics. So they are mainly increases the urine flow. So these are mainly acts on the distal convoluted tubule. So where there are two transporters are present. One is the sodium and chloride transport, and another is a sodium and calcium exchanger. Okay, say they are the two transporters, so they are found in the distal convoluted tubule. So their major role is reabsorptions of the sodium. Okay, the role of the DCT in nephron is a, it is involved in the recirculation or reabsorptions of the sodium from urine to the blood with the help of the, so these two components like sodium chloride co-transporters. It means first chloride ions, so they are moved from urine into the blood. Some energy was created, so that energy was helpful for the movement of the sodium in the same direction, that is from urine back to the blood. So that's why it is known as the sodium chloride co-transporter. It means both molecules, so they are transported or move from the same directions. And anti-symport means, so they are the opposite directions. So here, so these sodium chloride co-transporters, they are play important role in the reabsorption of sodium, because as the chloride is passes, it can create some energy or ATP. So that ATP or energy is helpful for the movement of sodium, same from the same direction by urine and back to the blood. Okay, and another component, that is the sodium chloride. Okay, so exchanger. It means our blood can exchange the sodium by giving the calcium to the urine. So reabsorption process occurs from the distal convoluted tubule back to the blood. were exchanged with calcium, it can use the calcium from blood to the urine, then pick out the sodium from urine to the back to the blood. So like that, this DCT, it is involved in the reabsorption of sodium and chloride and loss of calcium. Okay, so that is a by exchange with the sodium. And here thiazide diuretics, so they can promote the diuresis by inhibiting the sodium chloride co-transports. So due to inhibitions of sodium chloride co-transport, so there is no sodium, there is no chloride, so they are back to the blood and they remain in the urine. Then finally, so they are collected in the collecting duct. Finally, so they are excreted. So like that, thiazide diuretics, so they are responsible for to cause of the loss of sodium and chloride. And as well as thiazide diuretics, so they are block the sodium calcium exchanger. So due to that, it can prevent the loss of calcium from blood to the urine and inhibit reabsorption of sodium from urine to the blood by exchange with the calcium. So that's why thiazide diuretics only excrete the sodium. It cannot be excrete the calcium by blocking the sodium calcium exchanger. So due to this reason or this mechanism, so these thiazide diuretics, so they are decreases the, that is, extracellular fluid or plasma volume. So this phenomena or this mechanism is helpful for to decrease the cardiac output or to lower the blood pressure. And thiazide diuretics also causes loss of potassium, but it can retain the calcium. There is no role on the calcium loss, but it only causes loss of body fluid and loss of sodium and loss of chloride along with loss of potassium. So there is no role on the calcium. It means the thiazide diuretics, they are inhibit the reabsorption of sodium, reabsorption of water, reabsorption of chloride and reabsorption of the potassium. But they do not inhibit the excretion of calcium. Okay, they do not inhibit the loss of calcium. So this phenomena is helpful for to decrease the cardiac output and that helpful for to decrease the elevated blood pressure. So due to this reason only thiazide diuretics are commonly seen in the anti-hypertensive prescriptions. So regarding the drugs, that is the important drugs is a that is hydrochlorothiazide. It is also written as the CHCTZ. It is commonly seen in the prescription. It is denoted as or abbreviated as SCTZ, that is a hydrochlorothiazide. And also another drug is a chlorothiazide and benzthiazide, then bendrofluothiazide and clopamide. Commonly we can see in the drugs commonly, that is hydrochlorothiazide and indapamide or as well as the clopamide. So this is the introductions. So regarding the thiazide diuretics, the main phenomenon is they causes the loss of sodium along with water. There is no role on the loss of calcium. So regarding the mechanism actions of, there is a thiazide diuretics. So these thiazide diuretics is mainly blocks the, that is a sodium chloride co-transport. Here first the chloride ions can be enter inside the lumen from urine to the cell of the nephron or distal convoluted tubule. From here, so this chloride can enter into the blood. When chloride ions passes, it creates some energy, so that was helpful for the reabsorption or movement of sodium from urine to the back to the blood. And here thiazide diuretics, it can block this sodium chloride co-transport. Due to that, there is no sodium, no chloride can enter into the tubule cell, then into the blood. So due to that, they are remain in the tubules. Then finally, so they are collected in the collecting duct. Then during diuresis, it can cause the loss of the sodium and loss of the chloride. And here another pump is present, that is the calcium and sodium exchanger. So when sodium is entered in the here tubule cell, so that was enter into the blood with the help of the sodium potassium ATPase pump or with the help of the sodium calcium exchanger. From the blood, calcium can enter into the lumens, then sodium can enter into the blood. But here, so these drugs, so they are inhibit this exchanger. So due to that, the calcium do not enter back to the urine and sodium do not reabsorb. So like that, once again, here the sodium concentration can be increases. So that was responsible to cause of the loss of sodium along with chloride, water, and as well as the potassium. So there is no role on the loss of the calcium. So next one regarding the pharmacological effect. So these thiazide diuretics, so they are mainly decrease the reabsorptions of sodium and chloride by inhibiting the sodium chloride co-transporter and as well as sodium calcium exchanger. Then also, so these thiazide diuretics they can eliminate the magnesium and potassium by inhibiting its reabsorptions. Then also, so these drugs decrease the excretions of calcium and uric acid. Due to that, the calcium can be accumulated and as well as the uric acid can be accumulated in the body. So that was responsible to cause of the gout, rheumatoid arthritis or many other metabolic disorder related to the uric acid by use of the thiazide diuretics. It means, so those people they having the problem related to the uric acid where you do not use the thiazide diuretics because thiazide diuretics it can inhibit the excretions of uric acid along with the calcium. Okay, so then the thiazide so they are also inhibit the carbonic anhydrase enzyme. So this enzyme is play important role in the formations of sodium bicarbonate and sodium bicarbonate is required for the acid base balance. And here thiazide so they are also inhibit the carbonic anhydrase enzyme. Due to that they can causes the acidosis. So that condition was known as the metabolic acidosis. Okay, then so they also causes hyperglycemia in the borderline patients. If the patients are suffering from the diabetes mellitus, so where you do not use the thiazide diuretics. If you are using thiazide diuretics for management of hypertension means, so that patient is also suffering from the diabetes mellitus because these thiazide diuretics, so they are cause the hyperglycemia. And here thiazide diuretics, so they are also decrease the conversions because the abnormal impulses was involved in the cause of conversions and that abnormal impulses was generated due to over accumulations of the sodium and here thiazide diuretics so they are decrease the sodium level in the body so that was helpful for to control the abnormal generations of impulses. Due to that the thiazide diuretic especially chlorothiazide, that is chlorohydrothiazide, it is used as a anti-conversion drug. And here these thiazide diuretics so they are also improve the GFR or control the GFR in diabetes insipidus conditions. Okay, so next regarding the side effects, so they are mainly causes the metabolic alkalosis, then hyperkalemia, hyponatremia, that is the loss of sodium, then hypomagnesemia, that is the loss of magnesium, then hypercalcemia due to accumulations of calcium, then as well as so they are causes the ADR like a hyperglycemia, then even the thiazide so they are involved in the cause of the hyperlipidemia because they can enhance the reabsorptions of that is the cholesterol and as well as the triglycerides. Then also these are produces the hyperuricemia and thiazide diuretics. So these are the having the sulfonide moiety. So due to that they are involved in the cause of the hypersensitivity reactions or allergic reactions like a sulfonamide. It means so those patients so they are having allergy so where you do not use the that is a thiazide diuretics. Otherwise, the patient was suffering from the various kind of the hypersensitivity reactions, urticaria, dermatitis, many others are there. So they are suffering from. So regarding the therapeutic uses. Thiazide are mainly used in the treatment of hypertension, chronic edema, congestive heart failure, then cirrhosis. That is to remove the inflamed fluid from the liver. That is helpful for the management of cirrhosis. Even so, they are used in the kidney disease. Then osteoporosis. Osteoporosis occurs due to that is the lack of calcium in the blood. So and here these thiazide, so they are enhance the calcium concentration. So due to that, so they are used in the management of the osteoporosis. Even so they are used in the management of the nephrogenic diabetes insipidus. Even so they are used in the sequential nephron blockade if any there. So then also these thyroiditis they can clear the blockade in the nephron. And also the thiazide so they are prevent the formations of the kidney stone. They are related to the calcium. So these are the important therapeutic uses of the thiazide diuretics.